Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today we're going to be talking about the Brooklyn Nets potentially trading for Donovan Mitchell. The Nets have been reported to be interested in Donovan Mitchell, and I believe this would be a very interesting trade if it were to happen. And, you know, Donovan Mitchell would be a great addition, bringing him in, adding him next to Mikal Bridges, who probably will not be available in this potential trade, and then also Cameron Johnson as well, who I don't think will be available as well. So those are two guys I don't see being available in a trade. But at the same time, you have other assets to give up besides, those two guys who you could help you land Donovan Mitchell. And here's the trade I've come up with to land five-time All-Star, one-time All-NBA Donovan Mitchell, who just averaged 26, 5, and 5. Season before averaged 28, 4.5, and 4.5 rebounds and assists, and was fifth in MVP voting last year. And also this past season, he averaged a career-high 2 steals per game and a half a block per game. So this trade it's a lot, and this would be a big trade, but I have the Brooklyn Nets acquiring Donovan Mitchell, Caris LeVert, and Ty Jerome. So Caris LeVert would make a return to Brooklyn. The Cleveland Cavaliers would get Ben Simmons, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, and the following draft picks. 2 first-round picks, 2025 first-round pick via Phoenix, 2027 first-round pick via Philadelphia, which is top 8 protected, and 2 second-round picks, which one is Brooklyn's 2026 second-round pick, and the other is Miami's 2025 second-round pick, which is protected 31 to 37. So why, if you're wondering why does Brooklyn have to give up all this for Donovan Mitchell? Number one, Ben Simmons has to do with one of the reasons. One of the reasons is because they have to pay for Cleveland taking on Ben Simmons and his terrible contract, because that's going to eat up Cleveland. And normally when a terrible contract who's not playing that well like that you see a trade. Usually you see a team have to trade some draft picks with that player, so that team is interested in getting bringing in that player. And I feel like in this scenario where you're getting some other players that I think Cleveland would be interested in, and you're getting some nice draft picks, a couple first-round picks, maybe Cleveland would be okay with it. And then you're just adding in those second-round picks to, because you're Cleveland's taking on Ben Simmons. But you're also, getting Donovan Mitchell, who's a 5-time All-Star. You're getting Caris LeVert, who is a really good scorer. At the same time, these two guys are at the end of their contracts. Ty Jerome's just a salary filler, but Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Thomas are 2 really good players. Ben Simmons not so much, but he is a solid player. But for the money he's being paid at, he is terrible. I feel like Ben Simmons was paid less. A lot of people would say he was a good player. Now the injuries would be a problem. Everybody would complain about the injuries, but when healthy, if Ben Simmons wasn't getting paid a fortune, I would consider him a great player. Even if he didn't stay healthy, I consider it a big problem. But if he wasn't getting paid this much, what he's doing out there, even though he can't shoot, but is a great facilitator, great rebounder, good defender, Ben Simmons would be a great player if he wasn't being paid $40 million. But he is, and that makes him terrible. And he has no scoring ability in this league. But Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Thomas are completely opposite, because Dorian Finney-Smith, great three-point shooter, great defender, has a lot of value in the trade market, actually. Brooklyn is actually, at times, asked for 1 or 2 first-round picks for him. And then Cam Thomas, one of the best scorers I've seen in the league. Obviously, he's not one of the top scorers in the league, but with the way people will call him a ball hog, but with the way he's able to score the basketball at a high level is definitely impressive. And that's so young, too. He's 22 years old. This past season, averaged only 31 minutes per game and averaged 23 points per game and finished 7th in most improved voting. I believe averaging 23 points per game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds per game, and 1 steal per game on only 31 minutes per game. He averaged 23 points per game and only 31 minutes per game as one of the best players on the team. His field goal percentage was 44%. And he was really good for Brooklyn in this past season and finally got to take the next level of his career. But could become that for Cleveland. I think him and Darius Garland would be a nice duo, and you also add in a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a really good shooter, really good defender. So those two guys, bringing them in would be definitely great additions for Cleveland. But is it worth giving up those two key pieces of your team and Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert for those two guys and Cam Thomas and Dorian Finney-Smith and getting 2 first-round picks? Is that worth it for Brooklyn? And then also for Cleveland, and also taking on Ben Simmons' contract. Let me know your thoughts on this potential trade in the comment section, and peace out.